Hello my beautiful butterflies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Beverley and it's so lovely to see you today. In today's video I'm going to be delving into pop culture witchcraft. This is a requested video to talk about how to use TV and movie scenes to help your visualization as a witch. So grab that cup of tea, let's get to it. I have always loved nerdy things, like I've collected Funko Pops and I go to conventions to meet my favourite actors and stuff. And I wouldn't call myself a pop culture witch per se, but I definitely do dig into my geeky side when it comes to working with my craft. And a big part of that is to help my visualization. I'm not great at picturing things in my head. I'll get like a flash of a scene or a flash of something and then it'll be gone. It's like I can't quite grab it, like it's on the tip of my tongue is how it feels. So when I root it in something that I've watched or a TV show or a film that I've enjoyed, it helps me so much to just really ground into something that's in my 3D existence. So I really hope that this video helps you to do the same. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe and all that magical goodness. Let's get to it. So I think to start off with, we'll go to some of the basic things, and the first thing we're going to talk about is shielding. Now, when I learned about shielding, it was all about a bubble of protection around you. And I could not picture this 3D bubble all around me. No matter what I did, I couldn't get my head around this bubble. Also, they kept talking about it being light and golden, and I just couldn't understand it. And then I thought of a witch from Wizard of Oz who comes floating down in her bubble, and I thought, Glinda, I am Glinda, and when I want to be protected, I'm in the bubble. I'm in that bubble that she uses to travel around. But that is basically what I picture when I picture myself shielded or being protected. It's that big bubble of protection that's all around me. It's the perfect scene to have in your head when you're thinking of a way to put it in your head, a way to think about it. So that is the main way that I think of it anyway. Another thing is, and I know my friends are gonna laugh, but Twilight.
You better hold on tight, spider monkey.
At first, we don't know what Bella's gift is. All we know is that Edward cannot read her mind. And then in the final films, when they've got all their friends together, I know I don't need to tell you all of this. I know you all love Twilight just as much as I do. But somebody says, oh, you're a shield. So being a shield means that you can protect people around you. You can protect yourself very easily, and Bella does that very easily. And she also lets people in. When she trusts them, she lets them in. And she learns how to do this when she's not. When I'm thinking about I'm out somewhere with my husband and I feel like we're not safe, or I kind of just want to give us a little bit of extra protection, I think of the scene where Edward has to go and speak to Arrow on his own, and Bella uses her shield to kind of balloon out and follow him as he walks. And even when he's touching the hand of Arrow, it protects him from Arrow being able to see anything. That is how I picture it. If I'm out somewhere and I'm feeling a little bit uneasy, my anxiety's high, something's been triggered that just makes me feel unsafe, and I'm with other people, I will think of that scene and how she can manipulate her bubble to be a little bit bigger and to take in the other person, even if they're across the other side of a shop, and still make my bubble big enough to incorporate them and not just myself. So that is another one. I know everybody who knows me has just been laughing their faces off because yes, Twilight. The next one is grounding, and whenever I think of grounding, I immediately go to Bonnie Bennett from the Vampire Diaries. Bonnie Bennett was so grounded in nature magic and natural magics. She would draw energy from the earth and she could connect with the earth so easily, and that is a big thing that I try and do. I have limited energy, and so the idea of drawing energy up into me from the earth that has this unending energy source, yeah, this huge battery in the middle of it. I can draw whatever I need up from the ground, and doing that when I want to get something done, or I just need to get through this thing that's happening, just give me that little bit of extra juice. That is what I picture, and that is what I use to draw energy up and into me, and also to ground my magic into the earth and into nature around me. Whatever magic we're doing, we're connecting with and manipulating the energy around us. And so by doing that, and by thinking of things like Bonnie Bennett, or you might have a different person that you're thinking of, grounding into the earth, grounding with the earth is a huge big thing that we all need to do. We all need to stay grounded, because otherwise we can start imagining all sorts of things and trying to do things that go against the laws of this dimension, and we might want to do things like fly, but it's not possible because we have gravity, and there are certain rules that even we as witches cannot cross over. And so it is important to remember that and to ground our magic into the nature and the fabric of the universe. Speaking of energy manipulation, that is the next thing, and we are heading back into the territory of Vampire Diaries, because we're talking about Hope Michelson. She is the daughter of Klaus, who we first met in the Vampire Diaries, but then they had a spin-off called The Originals, then that span off again into Legacies. And the great thing in Legacies was that Hope really found her magic. She became a practicing witch, and she was very easily able to use her energy to make whatever she needed happen. There is a bit that I sometimes use for my protection magic as well, where they're being attacked by these monsters and she just kind of goes phew, and this big bubble comes up over her and nothing can get in. That was a big one for me. But also she can connect with fire, and there's a lot of different things that she is able to do. Energy manipulation allows us to use what's around us to make the magic happen, and it's something that I love doing. I love energy manipulation. I love playing with the universe and the laws of the universe. More than anything, that is the main thing that I love to do. If we step into Marvel, is Wanda Maximoff, and we see her when she's fighting that she uses magic in her hands. She plays with magic. She can push her magic into other people. She can use it as a weapon. She can manipulate them, but she's always using her hands. And I have very strong energy centers in my palms. They're warm all the time. My palms burn all the time. Whenever I talk about energy manipulation or anything, my palms just get really warm. So they're really warm right now. And I definitely feel like that sort of magic is really something that I would be doing. If I was like a TV or a movie witch, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be using my hands to connect with, to shoot out, to move things, to make things happen. When you watch her fighting, or when you watch her doing her thing, it's so hands focused, and I love the way Elizabeth Olsen uses her hands, and that is something that I always picture when I'm doing anything where I need energy to come from my hands. I picture a red glow around my hands. That is the energy coming out of it, and it helps that my hands become hot, because then I think of red, warmth, hot, magic, and it just feels really, really powerful. And remembering that we can be scary, we can do amazing things, remembering our power and that god or goddess energy that we inhibit as witches is something that really speaks to me when it comes to her as well. Now, you all know that I'm a glamour witch, and one of my favourite films for glamour magic is The Craft. It is used a lot in The Craft, and it's used especially by Neve Campbell's character, who transforms from this girl who's covered in burns to this beautiful vain girl, yeah? But the bit that I love the most is when Sarah changes her eye colour and she changes her hair. So she kind of goes, and her colour changes, and then she like shakes it out. And I always think of that whenever I'm trying to utilise my glamour magic, whenever I'm trying to, you know, I'm putting my makeup on or I'm choosing a cute outfit. I'm thinking of those scenes where I'm putting on clothing, I'm putting on my magic and my shield. It's all happening because just like Sarah and just like Nev Campbell's character, I can't remember her name in it, oh goodness, but just like them, I can make it happen. And it just feels so powerful and so grounded in this beautiful, wonderful movie that I just love. Who doesn't love the craft though? Come on, let's get real. Now, it's important to say that your film and TV scenes do not have to be witches. I've so far given you witch examples, but let's talk about some that are not. One that I'm going to talk about is spirit communication, and this is when I'm trying to communicate with ancestors or gods, anybody really, and I think about the movie Ghost. And there's a bit in Ghost where Sam, played by the wonderful Patrick Swayze, is trying to talk to Demi Moore's character, and he picks up coin and kind of floats it over to her. And it's a beautiful scene. It's incredible. And she's just crying. Like, nobody cries more beautifully than Demi Moore. Let's be honest, she's such a good crier on screen. But thinking about how we can take different things around us and give them meaning for spirit communication, such as finding a feather. That has often traditionally been used as a kind of spirit communication. Also, you get an idea to do something and then you see somebody on the street, or you hear somebody talk about something that's exactly the same, and it's kind of like that spirit trying to tell you that yes, that's the right thing. I always think of spirit communication as being very much based on what we have here, because in Ghost, he doesn't use his ghost gifts. Like, he's not, ooh, you know, he's not appearing in this ghostly shape. She doesn't see him until the very end. And so when he's trying to communicate with her, he's doing it in a way that is connected to our reality. He's trying to move things with the power of his energy that he can build up, and he's floating the coin, he's talking to a psychic, he's using other things that are in this world, and so will our ancestors, so will spirit guides, gods and goddesses. They give us nudges, they give us messages through things that are based in our reality, and I think it's important to remember that. And then lastly, I want to talk about in meditation, when I often do journeying meditations, and I'll say things like you're in a forest, and it's usually Narnia to me. It's usually a Narnia type forest where it's all snowy and there's magical creatures there and stuff. If it's a beach, it could be the scene from Buffy the Vampire Slayer where she's there with Angel, or it could be a scene from Baywatch even. It could be Baywatch, that was always on the beach. So think about a scene or a place. You could even use Twilight if it's a forest. I do sometimes use Twilight because there are a lot of like forest drone shots and things, and it was so beautifully filmed, Twilight. So I think it's important to really think about the sorts of TV and film that inspire you, and once you start thinking about this, you'll just be watching a normal TV show, just watching whatever. It could be anything, and suddenly you'll think, wow, that's like when I'm trying to do this. And then when you come to do that thing again, you can refer back to that scene on the TV. My examples could be very different to your examples, and I'm the first one to say I have the taste of a 14-year-old girl, and I will hold my hands up to that. I know most people don't, but I love like vampire movies, vampire TV shows. I love anything that's mythical and spiritual as well, but I especially love those sort of like Vampire Diaries, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Twilight, that sort of thing. The things that I think about, you might be like, I never would have thought of that, or I've never seen that. So think about the things that you connect to. Is it Elle from Stranger Things? Is it Willow? You know, sometimes when I'm trying to absorb knowledge, I think of Willow when she's taking in all the knowledge and all the book information comes up and turns her dark. I don't want to be turned dark, but it'd be quite nice if I could just absorb knowledge. Wouldn't that be lovely? But I do often think about that when I'm reading a book. Like, I want this knowledge to come into me and be a part of the fabric of Beverley from now on. Think outside the box, but there are so many ways that you can utilise pop culture in your witchcraft, and this is a whole type of witchcraft as well. It's not something that I've ever gone deeply into, and you can't find a lot of information about it. I think it's kind of one of those things that people like laugh off, like, oh, 14-year-old girls do that, but it is something that is a type of witchcraft, pop culture witchcraft, so it's something to bear in mind. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, so if you did, don't forget to leave it a like, comment and subscribe down below, as it lets me know and the YouTubiverse know that you enjoyed it, and it will sprinkle it out just that little bit more. While you're down there, don't forget to check the pinned comment, as that is links to my Ko-fi and my Patreon, and I have one tier, it's just £2 a month, but as well as that you can follow me in both places for free, so definitely come and follow me over there. You'll get notified as well as you will here, so it's just like a backup. Sometimes YouTube can be a bit sneaky and not tell people when videos come out. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful, magical week. Take care everyone, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!